Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how we were able to add $76,378 per month, pretty much MRR, in only 40 days using Instagram sequences, right? And you're probably thinking like, oh, 40 days, that sounds a little bit short, right? But the reason we were able to do it so quickly is because story sequences, well, Instagram stories, I just like to call them story sequences, they're pretty much just like money buttons, right? You can think of them like this. Every single time that you click on the money button and you post a new story sequence, either if you're selling a low ticket school community, you're going to get more money indirectly, or if you're selling a high ticket coaching offer, then you'll get more calls onto your calendar, right? Because look, I'm not denying that things like Reels, YouTube, SMS list, email marketing, VSLs, paid media, sales pages, I'm not denying that these things don't work, right? They all do work and we're still doing these things. Story sequences is pretty much something else that you can stack onto these things, and it's just such a no-brainer. It's going to take you like 15 minutes to set up. It's super quickly and they're super effective and they work extremely well, because all these things, what they're doing here is, right, you're spending more time creating content, right, finding new people, finding new leads to go through the value funnel, right? And let's say 70% of them, through the first call to action, they're going to book in a call, they're going to buy your school community or whatever. And the other 30%, they're just going to follow you on Instagram. They're kind of just going to tag along. And the goal with these story sequences is to just convert that extra 30%. And it's super, super effective, especially if you're not that active on stories yet, posting story sequences. If you're active on stories already, that's great. But if you haven't ever posted a story sequence before, this is going to do wonders for your business, and I can pretty much guarantee that. So what are we doing here? Instead of doing VSLs, new sales pages, everything, and making everything new, making more content, what we're doing is we're tapping into a huge warm lead list, which, you know, my client already had, right? A lot of these leads already know, like, and trust him, right? They've already gone through the value funnel here. They're a list that will pretty much already buy if there's no absurd guarantee, even if the price tag's like $5,000, and even if the product isn't that great. And what I'm talking about is your story viewers, right? Because if we really, really think about it, right? Who are 90% of the people who click on your story? Well, they're your followers, right? Because that's who your stories pop up onto. And most of the people who follow you have already gone through the value funnel, right? They already know, like, and trust you, right? So why don't you just tap into this like untapped audience, right? This is the question which I asked myself when I was working with my client, Matt. This is Matt, by the way, and I had absolutely zero excuses. So I slowly but surely started testing out these so-called sort of like story sequences, or at least I call them story sequences now, and they worked so well that they made us $70,000 in the first 40 days. And I instantly knew I was on something, so I applied these so-called story sequences for all the other coaches and creators which I knew, and they worked like steroids. But instead of making us super muscular, they made us super rich. And this is a mistake here, not 30 days ago, but just a little while back, just a few months ago, creators like Iman Gaji, who's doing like $3 million a month, started applying these story sequences. Maybe you've even seen some of them. Creators like Cardinal Mason, who's doing $600,000 a month, started implementing these story sequences. You may have also seen him posting these story sequences onto his story. And even creators like Jordan Welch, who's doing $300,000 a month with coaching, is also doing these story sequences, and maybe you've seen the sequences as well, right? So here's the point. I started using them too, and they started working super, super effectively, and there's a reason why all these big names are using story sequences as well. So if you don't have the attention of a goldfish, as you can see here, the little goldfish, and watch until the end of this video, you're going to learn exactly what story sequences are, how to use story sequences with 100% effectiveness, the secret story sequence formula, the best types of story sequences to post on your story, and an exact game plan for you to make your first $10,000 from your story sequences in the next 72 hours starting right now. So you can pull up your phone right now, put a timer and for 72 hours, and I can pretty much guarantee you that you're going to make $10,000 in the next 72 hours posting story sequences. But for you to do that, you first need to watch until the end of the video so that you understand it. It's only going to take you a few more minutes. So what are story sequences? Well, they're the exact same format as a reel, right? So they're just like an exact reel, but they're in a story form. And instead of giving value to get people to go through the value funnel, like saying like, these are the top 10 effects, or these are the top 10 weight loss tricks, these story sequences are only to sell to your viewers. You're not giving value in these stories. You're not doing anything like that. The pure purpose of these story sequences is to sell to the viewers. And I'm gonna get into this formula in just a second here. But as you can see, it's also sort of like a reel. It's a hook, it's a story, it's proof, and there's a call to action at the end, right? Number two, how can you actually use these story sequences effectively? Because I'm going to get into how you can implement these story sequences, but I want you to be using them with 100% effectiveness if you're going to be using them to begin with, because they can make you a lot of money, but they're also super easy to mess up. So I really don't want you to mess them up. The best way to pretty much run story sequences is for you to post day-to-day updates on your story. And I know you're thinking that it doesn't have to be business related. It doesn't have to be anything. It can literally be you going for breakfast and taking a picture of what you're eating. Let's say you went for breakfast and you ordered some sort of toast, just like here in this picture over here. You're going to take a picture, no caption, no music, no hashtag, no nothing. Just post it on your story, and I promise it's going to work wonders, because what it's going to do is it's going to be building an engaged story. It's going to be building you a list of engaged story viewers, right? And what you're doing with these stories just like this is you're building goodwill with them, because they don't want to think like, oh, every time I click on this guy's story, I'm being sold to. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to build, you can think of it like an email list, right? You're just building goodwill with your sort of like email list, except this is like your story viewers lists. And also one more thing, which I think I forgot to mention in this presentation, but I just thought of, which is super, super important, is that you can't overdo these story sequences. If you want to absolutely drain your audience, sure, post a story sequence every day, post it every few days. If you want to drain your story following in like 30 days and make as much money as possible quickly, and then quit social media. But if you're in this for the long game, then I wouldn't recommend doing more than one per week. If you can do 4 per month, absolute sweet spot. And then post, I would say, if you want to be doing the most, then probably 3 stories like this per day, just building goodwill. This would be the absolute sweet spot for story sequences. And I'm telling you, story sequences work really, really well. I've seen it time and time again. All the big creators, which you know, all of their launches include story sequences, so you don't want to be missing out. You don't want to be the person who's not doing it. No one on YouTube's talking about story sequences, and I'm telling you, this is what they're gatekeeping. You want to be doing story sequences. So what is the secret formula to creating story sequences? Well, it's super simple. The first story is going to be a hook, right? And the hook is going to be pretty much just when they're hooked, they're going to watch through all the other stories. You don't want them to be on the hook. Then they swipe up or down. I'm not too sure how it is on the Instagram app, and they're just off your story, right? You want them to go through all of the stories and actually read through them. So the first story is going to be the hook, just like kind of talking about what is going to happen. I'm going to break down a few hooks here. Then we're going to want the actual story, so the content of the story sequence. Then the proof that whatever you're saying actually works, or your own case study. I'll get into that in just a second. And then the call to action to whatever you're selling, into the DMs, into your free school, whatever it could be, right? So what are the best types of story sequences? I'm going to break down 3 over here. And when you've seen the breakdown of these 3, you'll pretty much be able to craft your own story sequences from here. So let me start with the launch sequence. And what is a launch sequence? Well, when you're first sort of like launching your coaching offer, from there, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to post a launch sequence when you're first launching your offer. And especially when you're first launching a new offer, or maybe it's your first time launching an offer, the launch sequence is going to be super, super effective. So let me just read through a launch sequence template, which you can pretty much copy and paste today and implement into your story. And by the way, one more detail which I'm going to mention here is, instead of having this like green background like I do here, you're probably going to want to put a few lifestyle pics into the background. I just have this green background because it's just for the sake of the example, right? So you can pretty much just copy and paste this right now. Finally, opening up seats for the program, or your coaching program, or the school, or whatever, right? For ICP, and I'm just going to break down what ICP means right now, because it's going to be a term used a lot for these story sequences. ICP is pretty much your ideal customer, right? So let's say you're a fitness coach, right? And then your ICP would probably be people who are a little bit overweight and they want to lose weight, right? So you can say 4 fat people looking to lose weight. Now I wouldn't say fat people, because it's not good to be mean to your viewers like that. I know it works for some people, like Andrew Tate, it works well. Usually, if you're not, I just wouldn't use it. I know Andrew Tate uses it for his scenario, it did work, but most of the time when I've seen coaches and creators use it, it took their conversions a little bit down. So don't be mean like that. And so just say 4 people looking to lose weight. I'm looking for 5 people looking to lose weight that are ready and willing to put in the work to lose weight. Now, this isn't the best example. Now, you're going to want to optimize the ICP and dream outcome, obviously, but this should give you the point, right? So for X people, pretty much building scarcity, and then you're going to mention who this is for, because it's not for everybody, right? And then the dream outcome, which is pretty much going to be whatever your dream outcome is. It could be losing weight, getting to $10,000 a month, getting to $20,000 a month, whatever the dream outcome is for the person who you're speaking to, and then with your unique mechanism, right? So by working one-on-one with me or with my elite content strategy or whatever it could be, right? Because not everybody's selling the same thing, right? Why is your course unique, right? Why is your coaching unique? What sets you apart from everybody else? You're going to want to include this inside of your story sequence. Then on the second story, you're kind of going to be making it a little bit more broad, right? So it doesn't matter if you're just starting out and you have no, let's say, you don't even have a website built out. We'll help you with the entire thing from A to Z. Now, you can say A to Z, but you can also say from building your website to acquiring your first few clients if you want to be truly specific. And I do recommend being specific. Then the next story would be the aim is to get you to dream outcome without doing any like what your ICP doesn't like doing. For example, if I was targeting agency owners, I'd be like without sending out any cold outreach or whatever it could be, right? So hopefully you guys understand dream outcome, and then what your ICP doesn't like doing. This should be pretty much clear. It doesn't matter if you have, and then bare minimum, for example, no experience at all, because I'll show you a way around all of that so you have 0 excuses. So for the few that take detailed dream outcome seriously, DM start, right? And detailed dream outcome is super important here, because you really want to go in detail and you want to be speaking to your ICP specifically. So even if this is going to be like, I'd say 2 sentences, which is already a lot for stories, I would definitely add that in. And by the way, if you want this whole entire like sort of like Miro breakdown right over here, the template, which you can just kind of like look at again, just DM me an ID, DM me Miro, and I'll send it over to you. I'm gonna have the IG third link in description, right? So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is the shame sequence, and this one is also really effective, but you don't want to overuse this one, because again, the Andrew Tate analogy that I was talking about before, you don't want to be shaming your audience too hard. So be careful with this one. You don't want to shame them too hard. So you can start the story sequence off with struggling to not have action to get to dream outcome is on you. Not action to get to dream outcome is on you. Not action to get to dream outcome is also on you, right? And then action to get the dream outcome is, let's say, doing outreach to get your first client is on you, right? So, you know, people, let's just take the weight loss niche as an example here. Not going to the gym is on you too, right? All of these things, you're just going to stack them. So just take your dream outcome, say $10,000 a month, then take the steps that it requires to get to $10,000 a month and put them into the gaps over here. When there's your unique mechanism, let's say the elite content strategy, which I talked about before, out there, you're actively choosing not to get to dream outcome by not taking full advantage of it. Once I remake the new offer, everything goes up in price. This week and probably halfway through the next week should be the last chance to get in. You know what to do, DM. Then that's the first story. Hopefully everything makes sense here. Again, if something doesn't make sense in this video, just DM me an IG and I'll help you. We can even get on a call and I'll kind of walk you through your sequence. We can even get on a call and we can build out a sequence for you together. Just let me know. I'll also have a call link in the description to book in a call with me, and we can just walk through your sequence together. Now, the next thing is, I don't think people understand how insane that is. He was telling me when he came to the office, when he literally just uses unique mechanism and wakes up to dream outcome, right? So uses the elite content strategy and wakes up to 20,000 views per video. Imagine waking up to 20,000 views a video. That's how easy we make it for clients, and that's why he's been working with us for close to 6 months, and he made an ROI in 2 weeks, for example, right? Then name, then this would pretty much be the proof, right? This is the proof right here that this, what we're talking about here, actually works. So name got the dream outcome in X weeks using unique mechanism, right? And then you might have the picture of him or a picture of a screenshot of him texting you, being like, yo, I got this result. And then you can just put this into here, kind of just giving them the further proof. And then again, spamming a case study in again. I know I talked about this being a call to action, but what you can also do is a call to action with proof. So again, case study plus case study, the more case studies, usually the better. So name got the dream outcome in X weeks using unique mechanism. And then at the call to action, you can pretty much say like, want to be my next case study, you know what to do, DM. Then the next one, case study sequence. So again, calling out who this is for, coaching business, name, prices, and agency prices go up tomorrow. We'll break down what that looks like soon. Took a while, but we've built something that's a killer product. So excited to share. Then again, proof. Now I know this is usually a story here, but you can go straight into the proof as well. Name got the dream outcome in X weeks using unique mechanism. And then we have the case study over here. And then a lot of you guys know you have problems, know they need to be solved, but you just coast, watch my stories, and take zero action. I see it happen all the time. That's why I don't chase people to for the high ticket protocol, would just be the name of this offer, but you're going to change this to whatever offer you're running. It shouldn't take me efforts to explain that working with me can solve your ICP problems. So can solve your, let's say your ICP, you're targeting agency owners again. So we can say just like acquisition problems in less than 30 days as an example, right? Last day until Saturday to lock in the X price for the coaching. So usually I don't recommend saying price, but if it's under $3,000, I would put the price in, especially if you're running a free school, paid school community, then definitely put in the price. And then last day until Saturday, and this is pretty much just building scarcity right here. Now that it's proven to get results and it's market validated, don't think I'm running it as this price for Saturday onwards, right? DM, and then again, probably put a case study into here. DM source if you want more details, right? So this would pretty much be a case study sequence right here. And it's pretty much just sort of like giving them the case study, being like, yo, this works, and you might want to join, right? Always have the call to action at the end. Again, these story sequences aren't going to work without a call to action at the end. So I'm going to give you the exact game plan over here, right? So when you're launching your story sequences, don't spam your story sequences on a regular basis again. This is a super important reminder that I have to put it to you again. Trust me, if you want to build something long-term, don't spam it. Only when you're launching, you can do 3 in 72 hours. Otherwise, only do 1 per week. This is only for when you're launching. So when you're first launching, there's 24 hours, you're going to do your launch sequence. Then in the 48 hours, you're going to do the shame sequence. And in 72 hours, you're going to do the case study sequence. If you do this, you're going to make 10K easily in the first 72 hours, or have 30K worth of pipeline in calls. Just depends what your close rate is, if it's a high ticket coaching, and if you have a paid community, then this is going to work for your paid community. Now, real quick, I know, I hate being pitched just as much as you do, but if you want to get onto a 1-hour call with me for completely free and break down your entire funnel, let's say your social media content, how we can maybe drive conversions there, maybe your VSL funnel, maybe even implement a free school community, and even go for your sales school script, right? Everything from A to Z. If you want to get a free funnel audit with me for 1 hour long and you're a coach, creator, or influencer, then you can book a 1-hour call with me. First link in the description. It's 100% free of charge. And at the end of the call, if you don't think it was worth your time and you think like, oh, I don't think it was that good, or it didn't really help me and I think I wasted my time, then just let me know and I'll send you $50 via PayPal there on the spot. And if none of the times on my calendar work for you, just DM me on Instagram and we'll figure a time out. Have a good one. Peace.